Live from the Washington, D.C. area, it's the Inside Scoop, EmeraldPlanet. All the ecology news that our viewers want to know. Now, here's your host, Executive Director of the EmeraldPlanet, Dr. Sam Lee Hancock.
Hello and welcome to the EmeraldPlanet that's coming to you from Washington, D.C. and the United States as we look around the globe in 143 different nations looking for the very best technologies, the services, the products, the people, and also the organizations that are reaching out and making a true difference in the globe. And so as we look around the globe in all these different countries, we want to find the very best practices that you can be using in your local community. And we've talked about many of the technologies and the products in the past. We've talked about the services, but also organizations are very important to this whole process as we move through the 21st century, as we're bringing a higher quality of life, not trying to just maintain, but actually a higher quality of life, even though we're moving beyond 7 billion souls on this planet. So what are some of the things that we need to be doing, thinking about, talking about? One of those is the Green Incubator, the business incubators that you know about as far as giving startup opportunities to small businesses and individuals. But now it's morphing beyond that, looking specifically at the green businesses and how they can take those green businesses and bring it directly to you regardless of where you live on the planet. We have Mike Kennedy, who is, I think he was the very first member of the Bethesda Green Incubator that's right here in this local area. And now I understand that this is actually morphing into 5 other green incubators around the United States, and that's going to get even more viral as we go on television and working with the leadership of that. And Mike is what he calls the energetic director. He is very energetic, of the Maryland Energy and Sustainability Co-op,
right?
Our cooperative. And of course, cooperative has been around a long time, Mike. So let's talk about what you're doing as far as your co-op, and then we'll move back into the Bethesda Green and the incubator and what's going on there.
We can do that.
Go ahead, kick off.
Well, yeah, cooperatives have been around and are big all around the planet. Where I grew up in the Midwest, they're very famous for being successful.
And that's what we talked about, you know, both being farm boys, country boys. We were raised through co-ops. But, you know, it's something that kind of fell out of favor or knowledge for many years. But now they're really making a very energetic, to move on your title, comeback as we're looking at business around the globe.
They are around the globe. Next year, in fact, is the International Year of the Cooperative. So there's a lot of things happening all around the planet, being sponsored in all countries around and also in this country. So we chose the cooperative model because we felt like it was the best model to use for an energy and sustainability co-op that was a grassroots organization that worked at the level of Main Street. And we feel like involving people from the community in our jobs creation program, really, around sustainability is critical to its success.
Well, I really like the vision, the mission that you've listed. We actually put all that in the short summary, the overview we're going to put up on the website. Tell us a little bit about some of the vision, the mission that you have through this Maryland Energy and Sustainability Cooperative.
Yeah, I do want to mention that we're rebranding ourselves as greensavings.coop.
I still like your old name, but I understand what you're trying to do, make it shorter and simpler and easier to say. But it really does tell the essence of what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Well, and it does, and that's part of our story. We're about green savings for people. We're about making it easier for people to take the actions they need to in their lives to become more sustainable, more green. Part of what we have to overcome is the idea that being green or sustainable costs more. And we've gone beyond a tipping point where it is now, there's a real opportunity in everyone's lives to save money, to actually, there's a return on investment that's real. in order, when you get to this sustainability aspect of thinking about your lives. The origin of the Green Co-op really came out of my frustration at how much was being talked about sustainability at a global level. I was going to conferences and people were talking about it, and I was frustrated. I saw a need to really create a model for sustainability that would work at Main Street level.
Well, this is something you and I talked about when we first met at Bethesda Green, this whole notion of the cooperative, bringing people in, having this synergistic support for each other, but at the same time to use a cooperative as a business model. Talk about why the cooperative is this business model that you selected versus any other kind that you'd be able to use to do this.
Well, I was lucky enough to, I'm not sure the universe ever just counts us on luck, but I was lucky to get to a National Cooperative Business Association meeting. And I had the feeling there, I had come from the capitalist sort of business model, and not that profit isn't important, it's very important. And in fact, our model is based on people, planet, and profits. We consider people, planet, and profits in all of our decisions. But the cooperative model really is, the cooperative community really is infused with their principles, which are all about cooperation. And so I found people asking me what could they do for me rather than what's in it for me. So that was kind of encouraging to me.
Well, I think that's really, and this is really the new model as far as you look at CEO space and some of these professional development organizations out there, this new cooperative economics instead of the competitive economics. And so this fits right in, but really we're reaching back into the past and then pulling this forward, Mike, and saying, hey, this old cooperative thing going back 100, 200, 300 years really worked. That's what's the bedrock of this nation and most nations around the globe.
Right.
And so we need to kind of dust this off, polish it a little bit, and move it forward into the 21st century. Right. So working with the members of your cooperative, you do have members, and talk about some of the different members that you have and how they augment and support and nurture each other.
So we have one of the nice things, one of the unique things about our cooperative is that we bring the suppliers of sustainable goods and services into the same cooperative membership. They join as members, so they have the same interests in the success of this cooperative in this business form as our consumer members. So our main job at first was to create a value proposition by bringing in the best local providers of sustainable goods and services. And we started with the things that people think of first: solar, weatherization, energy audits, LED light bulbs and power strips. It's all about efficiency first, but then it's about renewable. And once we felt like we had a good enough value proposition worthwhile for the people who would be joining the co-op as consumers, we started to go out and bring consumer members. So we have the supplier side of the equation on one side, and we have several different kinds of consumer members. I was going out and soliciting individual memberships. I started with my friends and neighbors, and
which is a very natural place to start.
It's a natural place to start.
Give them the opportunity.
But we quickly realized that we weren't going to grow fast enough or be successful if we didn't find a way to get the message out to a broader audience. So what we've done is we've now been bringing in organization members to the consumer side of the equation. And our organization members are employers with hundreds or thousands of members. And
so they're actually getting involved in and bringing in their employees and coming into it. And then how do they actually take advantage of the cooperative model? And what are some of the benefits that they have coming back to them, the employees in these very large employers?
Well, the employers like us because we're another green stamp of approval, but we're very real. We're taking this new action, and we're unique in that way. But they also like that they can offer discounted memberships to their employees as a human resources.
So this is actually another added benefit in this whole menu of things they
Yep.
have is for the employees within the organization.
Right. So their employees get a discounted membership to our co-op, and they also enjoy the benefits of discounted goods and services from suppliers that we really put a lot of time into figuring out are the best, among the best in the local area. One of the other conferences I went to that was impressive to me was the Bali Conference, Business Alliance for Local Living Economies. And there I learned that there's a multiplier effect to doing business locally. If you're doing business with your neighbor, you're creating economic vitality in your own neighborhood.
Well, the whole thing about that, Mike, too, is people think of it, you know, it's jobs and all that small business creation, but also people don't really think about they're actually supporting their own local government that provides the schools and some of the health care and the roads and all these other things.
Right.
And so it's this balance that we have as far as local businesses, jobs, and also the local governments to make them more sustainable and viable. But looking at this whole thing, we only have a couple of minutes. Bethesda Green and its incubator, they're really focusing on, you know, companies that are going green, being green. How do you see that has really helped you as far as your own co-op?
It's been invaluable to our business. First of all, we could not have afforded market rents to have space. It's in Bethesda, which is a nice place to be. And it really fits the Bethesda Green model of showing people educating people about sustainability and taking actions on Main Street, on streets in Bethesda, to put trash bins, to put recycle bins, all of those kind of things. The important aspect of it that we've benefited the most from is the incubator aspect of it. So they've created
where they're really nurturing and sponsoring, and also you allow people to trade among themselves.
We trade among themselves, and several of these green businesses are actually suppliers to our co-op. But we really, not everyone has the same business skills. So we have sort of like a brain trust of 12 different companies in there now, all of whom help each other out. And lend really important resources and ideas.
Back to this cooperative economics.
It's the same idea.
We only have about 30 seconds left.
Okay.
Mike, what do you want to leave with our domestic and international guests about the cooperative movement and how that fits with what you're doing?
Well, we want help bringing some of the $30 trillion that's on Wall Street back to Main Street, maybe even just $1 trillion. And using that to create jobs and to use this multiplier effect in our local communities to get healthy and to really make a difference.
And long-term development, too.
Right.
Thank you for being with us as we come to you from Washington, D.C. We're looking around the globe to create the Emerald Planet.